Welcome to NCSS Here for You. Since 1958, Northwestern Counseling and Support Services has been providing access to high-quality services which promote healthy living and emotional well-being to the residents of Franklin and Grand Isle counties. Over the years, as the needs of the community have changed, so too have the programs and services that we make available to assist children, adolescents, adults, families, and seniors. We take our role in the community seriously and strive to provide the highest quality services. According to Eric Erickson, a noted developmental psychologist, every person must pass through a series of 8 interrelated stages over the entire life cycle. NCSS provides a continuum of services to meet the needs of individuals who at any point seek assistance. NCSS's purpose is creating a stronger community, one person at a time. Now, let's get to today's show.
I'm Joe Halco, Director of Community Relations for Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, and welcome to another episode of NCSS Here for You. Each month in this program, we discuss a human services topic, and we do that with staff from one of our 3 direct service divisions. Our 3 service divisions are Behavioral Health Services, Children, Youth, and Family Services, and Developmental Services. And on occasion, we have guests from organizations that NCSS collaborates with throughout the year. This month's episode is titled NCSS's 2016 Awards Ceremony. Recently, NCSS held its 2016 annual meeting and recognition night at the American Legion in St. Albans. The evening included the 2016 awards ceremony. The first award presented was the Marquita Townsend Community Partner Award. This award honors individuals from outside the organization who collaborate with NCSS to ensure success. The recipient was Bob Begley, who accepted the award on behalf of Martha's Kitchen and the many volunteers who have brought Martha's Kitchen from a soup kitchen to a community kitchen. Next, we presented the Partner in Excellence Award. This award is intended to be the highest honor the organization can give to one of its employees, for it recognizes staff who are in the top 1% in the organization. These employees exemplify the NCSS values of safety, responsiveness, compassion, and integrity. In addition, they have made a major contribution to a client, to the organization, or to the community at large. 2 staff members were recipients of the Partner in Excellence Award for 2016. They are Melissa Machia and Trish Rigatti. Now, let's take a look at the NCSS 2016 Award Ceremony.
So first of all, Joe, we'll introduce Bob Begley and have him come forward along with you.
Thanks, Ted.
I think this is louder than it was before. Okay. It is truly my honor to present the 2016 Marquita Townsend Community Partner Award this evening. Tonight, Bob Begley receives this award on behalf of Martha's Kitchen and the many volunteers who have brought Martha's Kitchen from a soup kitchen to a community kitchen. Those are some important words, I think, that describe what has transpired at Martha's Kitchen. This community is fortunate that the path that Bob has chosen brought him to Vermont. Initially, Bob came to Vermont from Lowell, Massachusetts, and for 10 years, he served as a nurse in the prison system, where he also ended up managing 4 medical units. Bob has also worked with community justice centers, first in South Burlington and then here in St. Albans, connecting with victims as well as their offenders. All in all, Bob has spent 16 years working with less fortunate individuals. Brother Bob, as Bob is also known, as a member of the Secular Franciscan Order, whose mantra is helping to repair and rebuild relationships, whether at a soup kitchen or in a classroom. Martha's Kitchen first opened in 1984. But when Bob arrived 2 years ago, he saw that changes would be required to meet the intention of their original mission of improving the quality of life and to restore dignity to hungry individuals and families by providing nutritious food and camaraderie in a safe, warm, and caring environment for all who enter their doors. After Bob arrived, he opened the lines of communication with local support agencies, and they ranged from the Turning Point, Franklin County Turning Point, to the Community Justice Center, from probation and parole to NCSS, and many others. Just as with NCSS, Martha's Kitchen struggles with stigma. And during his tenure, Bob Begley has made tremendous strides in reversing that perception. There have been numerous changes that have resulted in cultural change, including treating people with dignity and an increase in the number of volunteers. Bob Begley has done a terrific job of engaging volunteers into making a positive difference in people's lives. Here's a sample of some of what Bob not only brings to, but has achieved since arriving at Martha's Kitchen. These are some of the comments that we have received from individuals in our organization and outside, and I think they need to be shared so you get a full understanding of the individual and what he has been able to do with volunteers for the betterment of our community. Number one, makes good connections with difficult to connect individuals. Reaches out to our clients, meaning NCSS clients, in their homes to make sure that they are all right. He has even visited a client while in the hospital following being hit by a car. Assisted the NCSS mobile outreach team with providing food to a person whose mother had just died and was in need of food for the weekend. Seeks community partners who can support the homeless members of the community with tents and housing. Calls mobile outreach law enforcement when he knows that someone is headed for trouble as a way to prevent conflicts with law enforcement. Change the access of the building from the side entrance that people really couldn't find to the Main Street entrance. The Main Street entrance now has a new sign on the door which allows people to find the location easier. This change also has made the location more accessible for anyone who struggles with mobility. Stays open for after-hours groups for additional support. Has invited in many community partners to be active in serving food and supporting those who come in. For instance, our mobile outreach team serves food as a way to connect with individuals who are struggling with mental health and housing issues, but are not quite ready to accept help. This really helps to build the trust so support can be received at some point. Started a rug making program where people make rugs and then donate those to the homeless. Proactively deals with bullying so others can feel safe. Notifies community partners about needs that exist in the community, such as tents, clothes, and household goods. In 2015, he organized volunteers to serve 7,700 hours of service and were able to serve 18,253 meals. This has led to growth of Martha's Kitchen in that they are now seeking a new location. Perhaps the most compelling reason for Bob Begley receiving this award on behalf of Martha's Kitchen is his persistence in offering a meaningful service in the context of a broader social justice concern with the program not being welcome by some more privileged parts of our community who do not accept those who are not as fortunate. So, on behalf of Martha's Kitchen and the many volunteers who have brought Martha's Kitchen from a soup kitchen to a community kitchen, I present the 2016 Marquita Townsend Community Partner Award to Bob Beckley. Bob?
Very briefly, I'm overwhelmed. Thank you. But I'm just one of many, of many. Thank you very much.
Good evening. As much as I am not happy about speaking publicly, I have to say I couldn't be happier this evening than to be up here. 9 years ago, I had the privilege of interviewing this year's DS Partner in Excellent recipient, Melissa Maishi. Attending tonight with Melissa is her husband of 21 years, Kevin. Melissa was married at the age of 22. Her daughter, Maria. Her daughter, Jessica, also an NCSS DS employee. Her fiance, Chris. And Melissa's mom, Shirley Nolan. Welcome, and we hope tonight you have the opportunity to get a glimpse of Melissa's NCSS family. There are 3 things I want to talk about tonight: Melissa's strong family values, her amazing work values, and being the ideal team player. Strong family values. Melissa suffered the loss of her 36-year-old brother, Bobby, and this was a significant hurdle in her life. She lost motivation to continue her schooling and started working as a para in the school system for about 10 years before joining NCSS. NCSS soon became part of Melissa's extended family. She dug into her work with a true passion for those that we serve. Melissa has shown dedication to both her personal family and her working team, always in pursuit of the best for those around her. Amazing work values. Melissa's dedication has been proven by her outstanding performance in finding competitive employment for individuals with intellectual disabilities. It's resulted in doubling of the DS employment grant funds and exceeding all expectations. Melissa has also been a key player in increasing the percent of individuals employed from 32% 5 years ago to 42% in the last fiscal year. Melissa presents as very quiet and unassuming, but when it comes to finding and creating niche jobs for those we serve, she is relentless, and she smiles the whole time she's doing it. She is the ideal team player. There are 3 characteristics to being an ideal team player: hungry, smart, and humble. Hungry. Melissa's demonstrated her ability to collaborate with community partners to assure we maximize employment outcomes for those we serve, increasing placements by 10% in the last 5 years. Smart. Melissa learned quickly how to utilize community resources. She became a key partner in creative workforce solutions, has developed a reputation for exceptional follow-through. Ongoing supports for employers and individuals served means maximizing successful placements. Humble. There are 2 sides to being humble. The first is lack of arrogance, never seeking or needing recognition, doing your job for all the right reasons. The second is not being afraid of sharing your knowledge, stepping up when needed, advocating when it's called for. Melissa models both sides of humility with an unassuming kindness that simply opens doors that were always closed before. Melissa is the ideal team player. She's an asset to this agency, to her community, to her family, to individuals served. Melissa is a woman who has never asked for anything more than to come to work and just do her job really well. She epitomizes humility. The work she does is truly out of compassion and understanding that work is a major part of self-image and recovery. So please join me in recognizing Melissa, who I am sure at this point would like nothing more than to be invisible and just doing her job.
This was easier till Kathy made me cry, and my mother, but well, I was sure Joe sent the email to the wrong person. That's how I found out about this. So I reread it a bunch of times, and I texted Nancy Taylor, and I said, guess what? You're not going to believe it. Of course, she knew. But I do love my job and love coming to work. Thank Kathy and Emily and, of course, Nancy and my whole team. Connie, everybody back there. That's it. Thank you.
There you go. Todd?
So I have the honor of introducing and recognizing our second Community Partner in Excellence Award, Trish Rigatti. One of the things when we met the other day and we were talking, and Ted does this a lot as well, he always asks questions about why do people come into the field? Why do people enter the work that we do? And when we started talking about that, the first thing Trish said was, she talked about her dad. And she said the impact, her dad's a Vietnam vet, and the impact that experience had on him and moved her and made her want to enter the field and help other people. From that early childhood experience, or that early experience, she got a job at the Y, where she was a teacher. And she talked a lot about how coming in and helping kids, she knew there was not any way she could give them enough services. They needed more help than she could give in that day. And so what she really wanted to do was continue with her education to find a way to help kids. So she wanted to go to, not NCSS, but to med school at the time. And it's a benefit to us that she struggled with quadratic equations in calculus class. And she entered the human services field and did find her way here at NCSS. She started here in about 2002 as an intern down at the Parent Child Center on Lower Newton on the Family Support Subsidy Team, where she helped families move towards financial security. And again, we don't think often of that as a social service, but financial security is really some of the bedstone upon which families' health can be built. And so that's incredibly important. That's where she started here at the agency. From there, she quickly moved to a position on the CUPS team, the Early Childhood Mental Health team, where she continued to work with families, bringing early childhood services into people's homes. In 2010, and this is something I hear a lot from people as well, in 2010, around 2010, her daughter Sarah was born. And I hear a lot from people that changes you. It changes the way you look at your work, it changes the way you look at the world. And she was looking for something different at work. And she moved towards the school-based clinician team, where she was there for about 5 years. And then in 2015, we had this idea. We had this idea that we wanted to start a children's mobile crisis team that would outreach to schools. And something we talk about a lot is you can have a great idea at a great time, but if you don't have great people, it's just not going to work. And we had half of the great team in Bridget, and I know Bridget's here somewhere. somewhere out there. There she is. We had half of the great team, but we knew to really do it well, we needed to have two. We needed a team of two. And so Trish joined that team where she became our second children's mobile crisis worker, and where she responds to schools helping children in crisis where they are. Just a couple of quick things I wanted to mention. When we talked, and humble has come up several times. Ted talked about it, Kathy talked about it. The word humble comes up a lot, and that definitely came when I talked with Trish. I was asking her questions to prepare for this, and it's her award. I mean, it's a 1% award. We don't give these out very often. And what did she want to talk about when we were meeting? She wanted to talk about her coworkers and how great they are. And she shared a couple stories with me. She talked about John Doe. She identified you as a hero for your outreach to the hospitals to support people in crisis. She talked about Jess Graff and how Jess Graff takes clothes to families when they're struggling for warmth in the winter. She outreaches to them. And then Michelle Treya, she talked about you as well. A couple stories about you, actually. All good. And how you work with your families, work with your kids to take them to the doctor's appointments because you know how important that is when no one else will get them there. So even when I was talking to Trish about her 1% award, she still made it about other people, and she did talk about all of you as being the heroes here in our community, here in our agency. So on behalf of the agency and Ted, we wanted to honor Trish Rigatti to come up for her 1%.
So I want to add my congratulations to the award recipients, and I want to congratulate all of you. As Joe made this the theme of our meeting tonight, that we're celebrating staff. This organization is special, it's amazing, it does incredible work because of all of you here tonight. And I was reminded earlier that some of our unsung heroes are the home providers who work with our clients on a very personal level. It's work that's invaluable to the services that we provide our community. It's work that I know can be challenging, but I hope is also rewarding. So if we have some home providers here tonight, and I think we do, would you please stand so that we can recognize the contribution that you make to our organization? Thank you very much. So, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight? Jim, second? Second it? All in favor? Aye. Congratulations, everyone. Oh, and before you go, if you have a green ticket underneath your chair, you get to keep the centerpiece at your table. So thank you all for coming, ladies and gentlemen. Drive safe, and we'll see you next year.
That's it for this episode. The tireless efforts of the award recipients are evident, and our community is a better place because of them. Congratulations once again to Bob Begley and the many volunteers at Martha's Kitchen, and to Melissa Machia and Trish Rigatti. I also want to thank you, the viewer, for spending time with us again this month. You can learn more about NCSS and all of our programs and services by logging on to ncssinc.org. I'm Joe Halco, and I'll be back next month with another episode of NCSS Here for You as we review the Celebrate Staff portion of the festivities from our recent 2016 annual meeting and recognition night.
This has been another episode of NCSS Here for You. We hope that you found today's discussion informative and educational. Since 1958, Northwestern Counseling and Support Services has been providing access to high-quality services which promote healthy living and emotional well-being to the residents of Franklin and Grand Isle counties. Over the years, as the needs of the community have changed, so too have the programs and services that we make available to assist children, adolescents, adults, families, and seniors. Thanks once again for tuning in this month. NCSS's purpose remains creating a stronger community, one person at a time.